Yeah, I mean, the title is Exercise Pool of the HM4mint consortium, or in English, one should maybe say AM for STEM, but yeah, I keep the German part. And actually, it shouldn't be off the HM4mint consortium because, I mean, actually, the pool, this was initiated by the consortium and is developed further. So about HM4mint, yeah, so the consortium is a group of 17 universities in North Rhine-Westphalia, and yeah, and they came together to make yeah, things for the first semester STEM students, first year STEM students, and actually what they did is has kind of four components. I mean, the first thing is really an online course. You have a screenshot here on the right um, for the first semester. And you see it has different is branching a little bit because some universities have other topics at the end of the first semester and yeah, then other universities. Um, then there's also a guided block course based on that online course, which and kind of a small brother of the HM4mint, which is for financial mathematics. And last last thing, that's the one I want to talk today mainly is about the exercise pool. So yeah. I say maybe a few words at the end to that thing if I have some time. But yeah, today it's going about the exercise pool. And um, yeah, so I mean, the exercise pool, I mean, is a pool of exercises automatically created. Also, kind of like Stack, but it's on a different platform. Um, it's an external platform, and I mean the target group for the pool is, of course, all interested lecturers that want to develop um, material or use material that is already developed. Um, yeah, and it's a collection of exercises from several projects. I will you see in a few minutes, and also it has a lot of graphical exercises or exercise with graphics. And what we use nowadays in this graphics is really JSXGraph. And the topics so far covers, I mean, basics, mm, and which usually the students already learn in high school, maybe. Then calculus in one and several levels, linear algebra, probability theory, and statistics, and yeah, and more and more. Um, yeah. So yeah, to get you better impression, I want to show you how the pool looks like. So in the pool, you see there's a list of a lot of questions. I mean, yeah, you see it's not goes to 69 pages of that thing, and um, yeah, I mean on the left-hand side we have filters of course to filter for titles or language. I mean, a lot of them are in German and English. The one from course like called OMB Plus, they are even in French. Um, yeah, and here we can um, filter by section, and this also already gives you an impression where the exercise come from. Like that's the HM4mint. Then that's RWTH Aachen University. They have extra things. Then TH Ingolstadt and so on. Yeah. Um, yeah. So exercises in that pool, they are called problems, short for math problems. Um, and yeah, I want to show you some examples. So let's example with eigenvalues first. Um, yeah, yeah, here's the eigenvalue and eigenvector, that one. And yeah, we can look at a preview first so that we get an impression how that thing looks like. So you see, okay, we have graphic with vectors, and then that's okay, we consider matrix A, then we are looking for an eigenvector of that matrix and the corresponding eigenvalue. And yeah, so this is just a screenshot to so that you get a quick impression how the exercise looks like. If you want to really see how it works, then you just click on here, and then you get really a preview, like the student would see it. Apart from that yellow block, which is kind of a comment, which only teachers can see. Yeah, and also, I mean, the buttons down there, I mean, the save button, of course, every all students get a save button. But which buttons you can see, the students can see, depends on what kind of workflow you allow. Yeah, and so here we see, okay, for solving this task, we should change the vector in the graphics, and yeah, so that it represents eigenvector of the matrix. And so we can do it either by plugging in here the other number, or by moving the vector here. Yeah, and so to make it easier for a student, you see the whole line here. And so if he understands what to do, then he will drag the vector so that they are on the same line. And in this example, it's quite easy. You see, okay, that's AB has the same length as V, it's the same vector, so our eigenvalue would be 1. Yeah. So you can try that and save. And yeah, and then you get the check mark. Okay, well done. Okay, but actually the whole thing is randomized. So if you click on new exercise, you get a new version. So now the matrix is different. Yeah, and you see, okay, now, yeah. So we have different eigenvector here, and different eigenvalue. Yeah, and actually, but I mean, the correction is made in that way that you are allowed to use both. I mean, there's one eigenvector here, and of course, there's other eigenvector here with a negative eigenvalue, and yeah, and both would be considered to be correct. And, yeah, I mean, we can, if we just save that way without plugging in the eigenvalue, then we also get a response, explanation. Okay, the eigenvector is correct, but that corresponding eigenvalue is not. And yeah, yeah, and so on. Okay, what I really like in that pool is also that if you see such a exercise, and you say, okay, that's good, but it doesn't really fit my notation. Yeah, so for example, in my course, eigenvalues are not named lambda, but maybe t. Yeah, then you can customize the thing for your use. And yeah, so I click on customize. I got a warning because I already changed that. So I already have a personal document of that. But I can open the personalized one. And now you see the source code of that thing. And that's another thing that I really like on the platform, is that the source code is just kind of LaTeX derived. It has special commands and so on, but if you're used to writing LaTeX, then it's quite easy to learn writing such examples and such exercises. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, for example, here we see here's a begin generic JSX visualization. Yeah, so that's really the start for the JSXGraph thing. And then somewhere it ends, and one has, yeah, defines points and vectors. Okay, and something more. I don't want to go into the details now because we are just saying, okay, we have that problem. We just want to change a little bit. That's, yeah, and so we just have to see where is it. Let's first click on that eye on the right, because then we again get the preview. So we can see what happens. Okay, the preview is now in German. So let's change. So it exists in two languages also. So what did we want? In my version, I already changed to the T. Yeah. And yeah, but I could see, okay, there's a text. We are looking for an eigenvector V and corresponding eigenvalue T. And so we can just go here in the source code and see here it's the text. We are looking for an eigenvector and the corresponding eigenvalue T. And then we just can change here related to T to whatever we want. Yeah. And I think it also occurs later in another text here. Yeah, here the eigenvalue of A corresponding to V is T equals something. Yeah, and this answer ref is for the answer box. So we also change it here. And after I change things, so for example, if I go back to lambda, I can also again look at the preview, and then we see here down here change to lambda. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's leave a T here, and we save and customize it. I get a kind of warning, but I really want to do it, and then go back. Yeah, and now I'm back, and here you see it personalized, so that's really the one which I changed. And yeah, and let's remove the filter. What I didn't show you before is that there's also a filter down here, customized by me, so that you can just see all the exercises that you already changed. And yeah, and I wanted to show you some more examples. For example, that one. Here we are giving a rational function, and yeah, the student should move the lines where the asymptotics of the function are. Yeah. Yes. So, and again, I mean, this is JSXGraph embedded into that platform framework. Yeah, and again, if you press and save, you get a feedback. Yeah. Oh, accidentally, I think I did the green asymptotic correctly. So one is a pole. So I only get that the red vertical is wrong and the horizontal one is wrong. And okay. So that is also one, and I wanted to show you, yeah, the affine subspace, because that's one in 3D that we use. So that's a 3D JSXGraph. Yeah. And actually, I mean, this one, I mean, it's called an exercise, but it's really just for the students. I mean, there's not really a correction going on. It's just that the student can, yeah, work on the thing and get an impression on how the things work. Yeah, and you can change here the coordinates, or even track the point and see how this affine plane changes. Or if you just one here. change this up here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, as I told you, the whole thing, I mean, it works on an external platform, and so the main question is how do I use that in my course? And um, the point is, you can include that via plugin. So there's a plugin with which you can import all these problems into your local LMS, Moodle or Elias. And I want to show you how that works. So I switched the tab. Um, yeah, I have a Moodle thing. I'm in a course, and um, yeah, I just have to add material, um, activity or material, and in these activities there is then the Mumie Aufgabe or Mumie exercise in English, I think. Um, yeah, I choose that one. Yeah, and then I need to choose a server, which is in our case the pool, and then I can go to Aufgabenauswahl, um, and via that I land on the thing what I showed you already. And so this is really then this pool thing, and you see all, again here the exercises that I personalized already. Yeah, my language is German usually here, so I can also switch to English. Um, yeah. And okay, and when I see, okay, that one is good. That's my eigenvalue and eigenvector thing. Then I can also go here and add it to the LMS export. Yeah. So, and then I get the button down here with the short export selection. And so, and then that tells me, okay, this is a standalone problem. Yeah. And so it has a fixed workflow, which means that it is kind of you include it as a training exercise. So it will be corrected. I mean, the correction will be triggered whenever the student presses save. Uh, he doesn't get any new data, so this new exercise button will not appear. Um, and there will also be no correction button. Yeah, and so he will only see the save button. And yeah, um, yeah, and then I can transfer that into my LMS. So back in the old window, it shows that one, and yeah, and then I can do more things like I can set a first deadline for my activity. I can um, yeah uh, set a limit which they have to number of points which they have to reach, and so on and so forth. Um, yeah. If you want to use um, the problem with a different workflow, that's also possible. So let's go back to the pool. Um, yeah, for that thing, for changing the workflow, for having a different workflow, we have the concept of a worksheet, and that I can show you here. Um, um, wait, why can't I? Yeah. Yeah, so I think there was that thing, a worksheet. We can see what it looks like here. That's but so that's the same thing, but included in a worksheet. And yeah, and here down here you see on the left that there is a different workflow. I mean, there's also no new data allowed, so he doesn't get a new exercise button, but it will be graded on a deadline. And so the student can try to solve it, saves his things, and then when the deadline is finished, it will be graded. Yeah. Um, so that's one purpose of the worksheets that you can really change the workflow, and that I want to show you. But no, customizes again that thing. Um, um, yeah, yeah. I mean, this worksheet you can also, as I said, you can yeah add it to the LMS export and so on. But the other thing about the worksheets is that you can also collect several exercises to one task. Yeah. So if you have several things that you want to ask the students kind of in one Mumi task, then for example, oh, this is an old one. Okay. um, but yeah, here you see this worksheet. We have five exercises in one worksheet, and you also now see really how the student will see the thing if you have imported in your LMS. You'll get there, see this um, this exercise, and then you can solve it or not, and go to the next exercise, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and unfortunately, I got one where we still have the old kind of old graphics, and I thought we have changed all that to JSXGraph. Um, um, sorry. Yeah, yeah, and here you see the workflow for that worksheet is quite different. Wait, change to English so that yeah. So that yeah, there's an unlimited amount of new data, so the student can really this really for practicing as long as the student wants. Yeah, so you can uh, try it out. When he saves, it will be a correction will be triggered, and then he can press on new exercise and get new day and um, new numbers kind of. Okay. Yeah, and so let's go back. So that was that one, and now I want to add this to the next support, and can here I get also again an overview um of which exercises are in that worksheet, and also a weighting of the points. Yeah, and one would also be able to change that if you want to have different weightings, so that say, okay, one exercise should have give more points than the other. And yeah, and yeah, and then we are back here, and I can, yeah, as I said, can, first deadline or not, and let's click on save and show. Takes a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and now I have a new thing in my course. So down here, have this exercise worksheet. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and good. Good. So, um, oh yeah, that was the part that I only said orally. Yeah. So as I said before, so the whole thing, I mean, it runs on the external platform, which is called Mumie. It's a platform from a small company, a spin-off of TU Berlin. Um, yeah, and we include it in the Moodle, and that I also showed you. Yeah, what are the, yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, what do you need for that? I mean, of course, the Moodle admin has to install the plugin and set up some configuration, and we have to, you have, because all the things, all these exercises, they work on the external platform. One needs a contract with that company, Integral Learning, and has a low cost for the server hosting, for maintenance, and they also have a very good support. If and yeah, and yeah, current developments. There's a project of my wife actually, which is called Business, and she's or her group is doing really more of these exercises with JSXGraph visualizations. Not only, but also in 3D. And yeah, so this pool is increasing and increasing. And there's also a linear algebra project, so which I didn't mention here because I didn't know exactly who is the leader of that group. And yeah, the affine space example that I showed you was from that group. And yeah, um, yeah, I added the slide. I think I finish here so that we have some time for questions. And I leave that for your reading.